Welcome. Thanks for waiting. I was just updating a few things in the description and in the chat and stuff to make sure you had info, because I wanted to share some things with you guys, but also get your feedback on today, so I can see if we want to do this all the time. I was thinking the other day about my own life and my own day as a practitioner, like what my day is like as a tarot reader and as a witch and a healer. Like, what are the things that I do that are maybe different or kind of a part of the process, and getting up in the morning and starting my day off, just kind of being present and with myself has been super important for me, because I'm not a morning person naturally. So getting acquainted with the morning has definitely been a spiritual act for me. So I was thinking maybe it would be nice to include you guys in that and kind of, have my morning tarot reading with you when we do our new moon and full moon collective readings, I used to do them in the evenings a lot, especially when we first started way back when. Do you remember when we started with these way back when at the beginning of COVID 2020? It made sense to do it in the evenings. But now I feel like we're in kind of hi Regina. I feel like we're in kind of a different world right now. And I feel like I'm adjusting, I'm shifting, the seasons are shifting. Yesterday was the first day of fall officially. We had the fall equinox, and immediately here in New York it got cold. It was 55 degrees. It was 80 last week. So it was an immediate shift that I can really, really feel. And I feel like now that we're moving into the darker part of the year, things are different in terms of the way we work. People are still working from home a lot and having adjusted schedules. It just feels like coming together in the morning might be nice. It's cool there too. Josie, yeah, it just immediately got cold. So crazy. Or not cold, but fall like. I was literally this morning walking over here and I was saying hello to fall. I was like, hi fall, you're I'm here. I'm announcing myself. So I thought that might be nice. We'll start the day with our readings and see how that is. So this is something I just sort of thought of. It just occurred to me. I wanted to get your feedback on it. So at the top of the chat, there should be a poll. And don't ask me about the devices. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, if you're on a phone, if you're on a tab, all that stuff. But I know at least on a computer, if you go to the top of the chat, you should be able to let me know what you think about meeting in the morning for our new moon and full moon readings. In the poll, you can say basically yes, mornings are good. You can say mornings are good and I want to do this even earlier because I get up at 6 in the morning. So potentially we could do a first thing, wake up, not even get out of your pajamas type of thing. For my real early birds. And then the last option is, no, this is way too early. We have to do it later, okay? So let me know. I really, really, really want to know. If you usually ignore the polls, don't ignore this one. I really want to know what you think about this one, so we can kind of decide that. And then, if you're just coming into the room and you are not one of the regulars around here, I see a lot of Coven members in the comments, so I know most of you have been here before. But if you're new around here, I'm Allie, aka BronxWitch. I'm a tarot reader, a Reiki healer, and I am the owner of this shop, BronxWitch HeadQuarters, here in the Bronx, which is a spiritual shop and work space for the witches, the readers, the healers, and all of the weirdos. We have been coming together for new moon and full moon collective readings for a while now. And this is another one. We are coming together for the upcoming new moon, which will be happening on this Sunday, September 25th, I think it is, at 5:55 p.m. And it's going to be a new moon in Libra. And why am I talking about astrology right now? Because I didn't mention anything about being an astrologist. I am not. But if you're new here, as above, so below is something we say a lot around here. It's a big part of my practice anyway. And I've just noticed in my life that astrologically what's going on with the planets, especially with the moon, really impacts me. So we tend to kind of focus on that, and we let Spirit bring us messages about this next moon phase, how we can prepare for it, what we should be doing, maybe ritualistically. Should we be casting spells? Should we be taking a break? We just basically kind of look at the best way to use this energy for ourselves. And then so the astrology always ends up coming up. So we talk about it a little bit to start. And then whatever other messages Spirit wants to share with us. And the idea is just that, we don't have to walk around life completely in the dark, There are things we may never know. Yeah, welcome, Lou. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining the coven. You will be able to enjoy the replay of this if you want to go back to it. But so we kind of walk through life sometimes, I think, feeling like we can't know what's around the corner, and we might not be able to know like the exact details, but I really do feel like Spirit is there for us in terms of giving us some heads up, some clue about whether we're on the right track or just facing in the right direction, or whether the energy or the timing is right for something that we want to do. So I like to do those check-ins to give me a heads up, prepare myself, and kind of like best utilize that time. So that's what we use these readings for. So I encourage you to take what resonates with you. Know that we are talking about the moon phase coming up, so we might talk about things or get messages about things that aren't really relevant right now. They don't make sense right now. A week or two they might come to be. So keep that in mind. I think it's a good idea to take notes on the messages. That's personal. And if you get that feeling that's like, is that about me? Is that about my story? Like, is this message resonating with me about this or that? I always say the answer is yes. Because this is a collective reading, we're reading the energy. How it applies to you is going to be specific to all 16 of you. And so that means that you're going to want to trust your intuition, trust that little voice inside that says, this message is for you, and go with that, okay? Lean into that. So that's how I go about collective readings. I want to start off with like morning announcements. Is that okay with you guys? I figure if we do this, it's a good time for me to also let you know a few things. So we'll start off with a couple of announcements. Hey Val, welcome. Hi everybody, welcome. There's 15 of you in here now. Hi everybody. Definitely make sure to like this video, and please participate in the poll at the top of the chat and let me know how you feel about this time as a meeting time and all of that stuff, so I know whether or not we want to keep doing these AM tea and tarots. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, see me fine. Let me know what you do. Okay, so going to my notes for my announcements, I want to remind you guys that this replay is going to be just available for coven members. Good morning, Betty. So it will be out probably for like an hour or so after it airs, just to give anybody who comes in late a chance to watch the whole thing. But then it'll just be available for replay for coven members. And this is just one of the many perks that I like to give to my coven members, because I appreciate you guys so much. So if you want to come back to this as the moon phase goes through, you'll be able to do that. And if you're not a coven member yet, then definitely check out the description, or if you're like on a laptop, there's probably like a button underneath this video that says join, or you can go to the website bronxwitch.com and /memberships and find out more about coven memberships and join us. Join the Facebook group, join the book club, join the Witches of Color support group, get access to exclusive videos, replays, things like that. So you might want to check it out. And welcome to all the new coven members. I wanted to say thank you to someone who called themselves a silent supporter. So I'm not going to shout their name out or anything like that. You know who you are. But one of our community members donated to headquarters, and I really appreciate it. We are a growing space, so donating funds or donating supplies is a really great way to support us if you're not in the New York area and can't come to the shop. And there's links in the descriptions about ways to support, but somebody sent some very needed supplies, and I don't know how they knew that I had just run out. I guess it's just the universe, but I was really excited to see that surprise in the mail this week. So if you're watching this, thank you very much I appreciate you, and I sent a little thank you gift back. So you should get that soon if you haven't already. Yeah, remind you again in the poll at the top of the chat about this tea and tarot situation. Do we like this? Are we down for tea and tarot? Should it stay as a morning thing? That's really what I want to know. Should it be earlier in the morning? Should it be later in the morning? Let me know. And then if you are in the New York area and tea and tarot is like totally your vibe, I am having another tea and tarot party. These are parties that I started throwing earlier this year, and I've been throwing them every solstice and every equinox here at the shop at BronxWitch HeadQuarters, and it's just fun. It's just a time for like people who like tarot or anything witchy to get together and hang out. We have food, we have music, we have games. I make tea, of course. We have free tarot readings by myself, by visiting tarot readers, and then we have goodie bags, like really, really, really dope goodie bags. Shout out to all the vendors who donated to this round of goodie bags. I appreciate you so much. These bags are so nice. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So you can get your ticket to tomorrow's Tea and Tarot party. We're celebrating the fall equinox, of course, tomorrow from 11 to 3 p.m. So it's nice and early. Come, get your goodie bag, have some lunch, enjoy some games, you know, maybe get a free reading, and then go on about your afternoon. Tickets are $25 now if you get them online, and they'll be $30 if you buy at the door. So you can get your ticket if you want to just pop in. But yeah, I would love to see you. And then of course the next one will be for the winter solstice. So if you can't make this one, I hope you can make the next one. So yeah, those are the announcements according to my notes. That is what I wrote down today. What's up, what's up? Hi, I haven't been saying hi to folks. What's up, what's up? Hi Lou, hi Josie, hi Irene, hi Regina. Welcome, welcome. Say, hey JB, I didn't know you were in here. Say what's up when you come in the room, guys. I can say hi. Hi. So where are we right now in our lives at 9 a.m. in the morning on this Friday? Are you guys all up? Are you also at work and in your offices, or are you like in bed? Are you tuning in from home? Are you getting ready for work? I'm very curious, like what you guys are doing. Is this like a more bedtime vibe for you? Should I be in my pajamas? Is everybody in their pajamas and I'm like the only one that's like up at the office? Eating pizza and drinking tea. Don't you love being a grown gal that you can have pizza in the morning? I love that. You know, being an adult is very much, it's ghetto, that's for sure. But there are these little things that are actually really nice, and being able to eat like whatever the fuck you want when you want is definitely one of those little things. I remember being a kid and being like, I don't understand that I can't eat what I want when I want. Regina's out walking. Irene is working from home in your PJs. Yeah, I was feeling like, I feel like this is gonna be giving that kind of vibe. Earth is very ghetto, Val. Earth is very ghetto. Adulting on Earth is the ghettoest of the ghetto. It's nothing like they tell you it's gonna be. It's ridiculous here, okay? Yes. Okay, did I miss some? I probably missed some. What else is everybody doing? Josie's up at home. Hi, good morning, Lady Leo. Okay, so everybody's doing different stuff. I'm drinking coffee in my tracksuit, working from home. Okay, so that's 2 working from homes. This is hot. Don't be hot. I wanna move my incense closer. So everybody, not everybody, but a few people are working from home in the PJs. Others are out. Do we have tea? Is anyone else actually drinking tea, or is that just me? Lou's in bed. You don't have to log in till 11. That's awesome. Is anyone having tea? Shout out to Mickey Miller. Do you guys know Mickey? Also on YouTube, check out Mickey. Shout out to Mickey, who made and gave me this amazing witch bitch tea pot, I guess. This teapot, ceramic teapot. I've got one of my quartz crystals crystal tea infusers that you can get in my shop in here. Isn't that a big, nice piece? Smoked your herbs this morning. Yo también. Yo también. Josie's having coffee. Val likes Lou. Lou, I like you too. Yes, shout out to Mickey. Thank you so much for this. And I have my blood clot chai on deck this morning because it is my moon time. Just in time for the new moon. Seems so appropriate, so perfect. Time to release, start, renew. My body was like, yes, new moon, let's do it. Let's start over. Let's refresh. Yeah, Mickey, you so fine. I bet she got that as a kid so much. So cheers. Cheers, all my witches, whatever you're sipping on. Thank you so much for joining me for Tea and Tarot. You know, I'm obviously completely biased, you know, so you can't necessarily believe anything that I say, but my blood clot chai is my favorite chai tea ever. Like, ever, ever, ever. I did a good job. I did a good job. Hi. Trying this mushroom coffee I ordered. Nice. I drink mud water, which is a mushroom coffee alternative stuff. A friend of mine drinks Nummy Creations, which is like a dandelion root based coffee alternative. So yeah, I'm all for the coffee alternatives. I drink coffee when I give coffee to the different spirits that take coffee at their altars. So I do still drink it occasionally, but I try not to drink it for myself, you know, to avoid the caffeine and all that stuff. So, but cheers, guys. Thanks for being here. So this tea and tarot is it good? Yeah, I like it. It's like a mix between chai and hot cocoa because it's got cacao in it. So yeah, it's really good. It takes some used to it at the start because it's, you know, if you're used to drinking coffee, you're probably expecting a coffee taste, and it doesn't actually taste like coffee at all. It tastes like chai and chocolate. So that takes some getting used to, but I think it's good. But yeah, so we are gathering here today. We are gathered here today this morning as this dog starts barking in the background to pull cards and ask Spirit for messages for this new moon in Libra that is coming up. I usually focus on the moon phase. You guys know why. It draws on me significantly. I always feel the fluctuations. And then we talk a little bit about the other transits that are going on. Last week I mentioned, or last time we met for the full moon, I talked about the 6 planets that are currently in retrograde. So if you don't remember, we have Mercury in retrograde in Libra, we have Jupiter in retrograde in Aries, Mars in retrograde in, Uranus in retrograde in Taurus. That's how bad my writing is. Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius, Pluto in retrograde in Capricorn, and Neptune in retrograde in Pisces. And I encourage you to watch astrologers and like look up astrological information on how that might impact you, or get readings from astrologers to find out how all of that might be impacting you. But we do have a lot of planets retrograding. For me, the only one that I can kind of like put any type of finger on and say, yes, I do see a difference in my real life, is the Mercury retrograde. And as much as I would like to ignore it, because I do find the Mercury reggaeton thing to be kind of annoying, being that we know that a retrograde is an illusion. But at the end of the day, I cannot deny the fact that I see how it changes things. I don't know about you guys, but technologically, I've been having all of these glitches. It's not as bad as it was, I think, 2 retrogrades ago, but just kind of on cue, Mercury goes retrograde at the beginning of the month. I think it was on the 9th, and just the wackiest, weirdest little nuisances technologically and with communication and transportation have been happening to me and everybody around me. from like inexplicable train delays to weird glitches with my devices, things not logging in and being like, oh, the password's wrong, and then literally me just hitting login again and it going through, like not changing the words at all. So, you know, it's just been a lot of that for me. I've been going with the flow. I'm really grateful. Nothing too crazy has been going on, and I've been able to remind myself that like when it happens, it's gonna happen and it's okay. And rather than trying to force it, I've just been stopping. So like yesterday I was having difficulty trying to get this live like scheduled and stuff. No reason, it just wasn't doing what it's supposed to do. So I just stopped. I walked away, I did something else. When I came back, magically it worked. So I don't know if you guys are feeling the retrograde, let me know if you are, but for me, that is what has been happening for that. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Mercury retrograded in Libra. So I feel like that's significant because we have the sun now in Libra. We have the new moon in Libra. So I think it's important to kind of understand what Libra energy is all about and how you might be feeling that, both during this moon phase and during this retrograde, if that makes sense. Do we have any Libras in the building so that I can say happy birthday? Josie, you've been having technology glitches too? Yeah, just little ones. I'm very grateful, like I said. It's just been like, just stuff that you know, you can't explain with like a logical explanation has been happening. October 5th, yay! Happy early birthday, Irene. That's exciting. Happy birthday. And if I recall correctly, it's a big birthday, so I hope you get litty. If tech is to tell, my whole life is in retrograde. That's what I say about my husband. My husband has like this weird, like, I don't know, technology force field or something around him, but technology and him have like butt heads all the time, not just when it's retrograde, just like things that should go right on a website or that like I'll hop on, it'll be perfectly fine. For him, it's a no-go. It's very, very strange. Yes, happy early birthday. You're a Libra rising. I'm a Libra rising too. I'm a Libra moon and Libra rising. So yeah, if you are a Libra sun, moon, or rising, shout yourself out in the comments. Say what's up so we can shout you out. Happy birthday. Happy you season. It's you time if you didn't know. So what's up to all the Libras? Libra energy is really beautiful energy, and I think that makes sense because beauty is kind of a part of the Libra package. Libra is ruled by Venus, right? And Libra is an energy of beauty, of aesthetic and comfort, and making things pretty and pleasing to the eye. Libra energy is very rooted in like its home and its space. So I feel like Libra energy is very useful to tap into when you want to beautify your space, do some deep cleaning, clean things up, or you know, anything like that. Does that mean shallow? I don't think so. We're talking about energies, we're talking about archetypes. Shallow is kind of more of a like a way of being, an individual way of being. So perhaps if you are an unhealed individual, those Libra traits could show up that way or seem shallow or keep you kind of on the surface of things, but not necessarily, you know. Being concerned with beauty from a healthy place could be fantastic. Being concerned with beauty from an unhealthy place could be, you know, vanity or you know, obsession, you know, delusions about your appearance, body dysmorphia, you know, I don't know. So I don't think it's the energy, it's how each individual kind of responds to that energy or handles it or embodies it. Libra energy is not, or any zodiac like energy is not really a judgment. It's just an archetype. It's something that we all can tap into, and that kind of connects to different aspects of our lives. So Libra connects to that beauty aspect of life, as well as to the aspect of justice and fairness and like balance. Libra energy is very helpful for keeping the peace, diffusing disagreements, and bringing things back into harmony, or doling out justice when it's needed, or even like figuring out what that justice would be, what's the course of action. And Libra is very much rooted to like our relationships, I feel like, because Libra is a very friendly kind of energy, welcoming kind of energy. So I feel like it's a useful energy to embody if you need to deal with relationships, whether you're starting a new one or you need to revisit a relationship and you need to kind of look it over with like a loving eye, a willingness to see the beauty in the situation and in the person that you're dealing with, that you're having the relationship with. So Libra energy is really useful for all of that. How does that relate to what's going on with the planets, the moon being new and Mercury being retrograde? For me, the moon being new, we talk about this all the time, about the moon being, when the moon is new, that it's a good time to start fresh and start over, to plant new seeds and set our intentions. And these can be things that we have already set an intention for and that we're kind of just like renewing, or they might be, totally brand new projects, totally brand new ventures. And I really love the new moon. On every new moon, I fast. Physically, but then I also sometimes will like choose that time to give up stuff. I'm going to be taking a break from cannabis. Speaking of the herbs, I'm going to be taking a break from cannabis starting on the new moon, and I feel like the new moon gives me my best chance of doing that for as long as I want to, and having that result in something else coming into my life and coming into that space. So I'll be fasting, I'll be giving some things up, and I love the energy of the new moon for that. It's a time to purge and start over. It's like transition time. The dark of the moon is when we have zero moon, and then the new moon technically is when we get that first sliver of moon. And so when the moon is dark, I like to purge, clean, get rid of things, and that really ushers in the right energy to start over. So with the moon being new in Libra, we kind of put that together and we say, okay, this might be a good time to start over, purge, or renew when it relates to those areas that Libra energy relates to. So our relationships, our home, issues of justice or of fairness. This might be a good time to, cut ties with someone that's been unfair or unjust to you. Start over elsewhere. It might be a good time to get rid of things in your home or in your environment that's not conducive to like its beauty and its comfort, and then start fresh with a clean slate, things of that nature. So that's how we kind of put those two together. And I think it's really interesting that we have Mercury retrograde in Libra, because we talk about the wacky stuff that Mercury retrograde can contribute to, but I like to focus on the positive. I find that helpful. And the upside of any retrograde is that it's coming back around. And sometimes you gotta come back around to things, Sometimes you have to revisit things. When we talk about things like healing, I think people think of it as like this, like every day I get better. But I think it's more of like this kind of thing, every time you go around the trauma that you experienced or the thing that you're trying to heal from, you get a little bit better. You get a little bit more distant from it. It becomes a little bit less painful, or you're able to separate yourself a little bit more. And then you have to go through that level of being okay, and then it comes back around again so you can get even better, And so I feel like the retrogrades are good for that. Bringing things back around so that you can become even more healed from it, or more separate from it, or more connected to it, or more deeper in it, whatever it is. So retrogrades give us an opportunity to revisit things, and Mercury retrograde specifically is like revisiting relationships, revisiting our communications, the last time we talked to somebody, the last time that we tried something, the last time that we tried to express ourselves and maybe it didn't go so well, the last time someone expressed themselves to us and maybe we didn't receive it, we weren't ready to hear what they had to say. The Mercury retrograde period is a good time to go back over those things and say, let me look at this again. You know, maybe I wasn't fair. Maybe I didn't get a fair shot. Maybe I should try again. Maybe the last thing that I did, I kind of feel this way about the shop, like the last round of reorganizing and setting up was great, but like what's the next round? Now we're going to move on and do this. We're going to do different signs. We're going to do different, etc. So we, you know, we move on and we progress with each go round. So take advantage of that opportunity to revisit stuff. You know, people might owe you money. I like to go back around, like thinking about opportunities for money too. So let me know if that makes sense. Again, I'm no astrologer, but that is my understanding of the new moon, in Libra, and retrograde in Libra, and how those energies might be beneficial to you or might be impacting you. And you might want to, you know, have a heads up about that. That's why we talk about it, to give ourselves the heads up, you know? And then we'll get into pulling cards about it to see what the specific messages are for this new moon phase, how we can use it to our benefit, what it is that Spirit wants us to know going into it so that we can maximize these energies and not be taken by surprise by them, basically. You know, I'm going to be pulling from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck, which just sold out here in the shop. So shout out to you guys. Everybody knows at this point that this is the only Oracle deck I ever pull from. It's my favorite deck. It was gifted to me and I highly recommend it. I will have them in stock in the shop soon, so keep an eye out for that. And then I was thinking that I would pull from the Wiser deck again. Are you guys down for that? This is a new deck from Wiser Books. It's basically just a re-envisioning of the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck with a more diverse lineup of characters. So all the line work is the same, but the colors are different and the characters are a little more diverse, and it's pretty beautiful. I did a flip through on it on this channel if you want to check out the whole deck, but since I'm still like really getting to know it, I thought we would pull from that again. But let me know down below if you have another preference. You guys kind of know my lineup of decks now, except things are changing, guys. I gave up. I decided to donate a few of my decks and their guidebooks to the used books here at the shop. So I think the Silver Witchcraft Tarot and the Green Witch Tarot, I was finally ready to part with. Those are some of my earliest decks and I love them, but I was like, I'm ready, you know? So they're available here if you want to come get them. You saw the flip through? Thank you. Yes, do it. All right. So we're going to get into the cards, guys. We're going to get into the message. I'm going to take a quick second, if you don't mind, just to call in my guides, guardians, and ancestors to be with me, to help me to connect above and connect below. Let the messages that we need to receive for this new moon in Libra to come through. Help us to understand how it's going to impact us, how we can use this energy to propel ourselves forward. Call in whatever it is that we are looking to manifest in our lives, and release anything that is no longer serving us. I thank you in advance for these messages and for everyone who is tuning in to receive them. I pray that they are clear and high vibrational and give us the answers to our questions. So mote it be. And in case you weren't sure, we're broadcasting from the Bronx, New York City, hence the sirens. All right, let's get into this. I'm loving this incense blend, you guys. I just made it. I think I'm gonna make it available in the shop. Well, first, I'm going to be putting it into the goodie bags for tea and tarot tomorrow. So if you come to the party, you'll be getting this incense blend that I just made, this loose resin incense blend that I just love so much. Then if I have anything left over, I think I'll list it in the shop. So keep an eye out for that if you like loose resin incense. I don't plan these things, guys, I promise you, okay? If you are new here, we always kind of have a little chuckle about how we talk about astrology before we pull the cards, because if we didn't do that, we would end up spending the entire reading talking about astrology because it always comes up in the cards. If we purchase a ticket, do we get a goodie bag shipped? No. Unfortunately, my dear, no, because that would, just depending on where you're located and stuff like that, the cost of shipping could totally kind of cancel things out for the shop. You can purchase a ticket to donate to the events. That would really be awesome. Yeah, thank you. For the folks who are able to come and enjoy this space, and it's kind of my way of saying thank you for actually being here and physically supporting the HQ shop. But you can purchase a ticket to donate to anybody who is in need and reaches out to me and is not able to afford a ticket. And you can also just donate in general to the efforts of putting on the parties by donating to my tip jar in the description, or you can do a super chat on this video and I'll use it for the party. And thank you. And shout out to the vendors. The goodie bags are pretty dope. I won't get into it here because I don't want to make you jelly. But I did go live on the BronxWitch HQ page the other day and talked about the goodies that are going to be in there. But yeah, I will let you know that this incense blend that I'm making is going to be in the goodie bag. But then I'm going to list it in the shop, okay? I imagine I'll make enough that I can list it in the shop too. All right. Well, I feel like the astrology chat kind of filled all of this in for us. Before I get into the cards, I just want to remind you guys that there's a poll at the top of the chat asking you how you feel about our live collective new moon and full moon readings being a morning tea and tarot gathering, and how you feel about it being at 9 a.m. Eastern. Would you like it to be earlier? Would you like it to be later? Does this time work for you? Sure to check it out, and please do like and comment on this video and let me know how you feel about it. Can you see okay? Can you hear okay? Do you like this angle? Should I be farther away? Are we too close? Let me know. so that we can, you know, make this exactly what we want it to be. And I thank all of you for being here. This video will be available for a little bit longer after the reading is over so that you can go back, or if you tuned in late, you can watch the whole thing. But then the replay will only be available for Coven members. So if you're coming back to it to see how these messages play out for the new moon phase, the next couple of weeks, then consider joining the Coven so you have access to all the videos. Val said off topic, what's the gold eyeshadow I am wearing? This is the oldest pot of eyeshadow ever. It is from MAC, back in the day when I was MAC eyeshadow obsessed. And it's called Amber Light. And I don't know if they even make it anymore, but it has lasted me a good long time. Amen. Yay. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this message that came out. I wanted to start off where we're at right now and what's the big thing that well, first, let me go back. Let's start off with the Oracle card. I laughed. Okay, so our Oracle message is release. Can I see that? I always like to have the light up so you can see, but I always wonder if there's like too much of a glare. You win some, you lose some. Can you see that? Release is the message from the Oracle. As we were talking about the new moon, we've got the moon back here. It's a depiction of like the full moon in the back, but if it was new, we wouldn't be able to see it necessarily. So here we are with the astrology showing up as usual. And then we have this very Venus de Milo-like character here, very Libra energy. She is giving the Libra energy card, her flowing like gown. I think it's so interesting that she has these horns on her, very Taurus energy, which is the other sign that Venus rules. So very, very on point with this message here, Oracle. Obviously understanding that the new moon is having a big impact on a lot of us. Like I said, for me, you know, I'm a Libra moon, so I am feeling this energy very, very much. All I want to do is clean my house, purge everything out of my life, and just like cuddle up in bed and refresh myself and start over. And like I said, it's my moon time, so even my body is like, yes, let's start over. Release. Okay, that is what we are focusing on for this new moon phase. We are releasing, we are letting go. We are clearing things out of our lives in order to make way for the things that we want to plant, start, manifest, you know, bring into being, whether we've already been working on them or these are things that are just getting started, brand new ideas that are coming to us. This is the time to do that. Okay, so if you've been hesitating at all, or if you've been, you know, moving along in your steps, it's time to revisit this issue of releasing. I feel like for a lot of you, it's like you released a little bit, like you're dealing with things that you may have let go somewhat, but you haven't let go all the way. And it feels almost like you were maybe not ready before to let it go all the way. You had to kind of let it go in pieces. And now is the time to take another release. It's time to go back over those things again and do another cleaning, another reassessment, another letting go of things as you continue to like beautify and make this situation or make this relationship exactly what you want it to be. Okay, so we want to release. That is our focus for this new moon. Not really a big surprise there, if you ask me. And then getting into the tarot, looking for specific messages and asking Spirit for exactly, you know, what it is we want to focus on and what we want to really take care of or release, bring that releasing energy to. We have here the 9 of Cups and we have the 8 of Cups as well, both in the upright. Okay, so Libra energy, we're talking about comfort. With the 9 of Cups, we're talking about getting our ducks in a row, beautifying things in our space and in our environment, and getting ourselves nice and comfortable for whatever this new stage is that we are embarking on, planning, preparing for, etc. Ducks in a row really seems to be standing out for me. So I feel like a lot of you are trying to get your affairs in order and prepare it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to release, what next? Like, what am I ready for what comes after that? I need to get myself together, whether it's my home, whether it's my finances, whether it's my employment situation, whether it's issues with my family, whatever it is for the 15 of you that are here that you're personally going through. It feels like right now is a time for you to reassess and get things in order and get things comfortable, because that is the thing that is maybe holding up this moment for you, this Eight of Cups moment. This is the release moment, the Eight of Cups, and there we see the new moon right there. Technically, I guess this would be like an eclipse, but it's very much new moon energy because the new moon and the sun are in the same sign. They reflect each other astrologically, and we have that little sliver of moon. I just love how the astrology shows up in the cards, and it never matters what deck we use. Isn't that crazy? Like crazy in a good way, but so crazy. But anywho, so we have this release here with the Eight of Cups, and Spirit is saying you want to beautify things, you want to get your ducks in a row, you want to get yourself organized and ordered as best you can. Get comfortable as best you can. I feel like that's really what's standing out to me with the Nine of Cups, because even though the Nine of Cups character is comfortable, you know, he's seated, he's got all his cups around him, he's got his luxurious robes and all of that good stuff, the seat that he is sitting on, it's a little hard to tell, is like a square hard bench. So it's not necessarily like a super plush, comfortable throne, you know what I mean? But it's comfortable enough for where you need to be. And so Spirit is saying, look, you've got to get things in order as best you can. You're not going to be able to get it super, super perfect. It's not necessarily going to feel all the way 100% comfortable when you decide to make this release, when this exit happens. But this is the time to clean house and get things as good as they can get. For some of you, you're going to be walking away, letting go, releasing. For others, you're going to be left. Okay? For some of you, this is someone or something leaving you, and it's very disappointing and it's very sad. Two messages are coming through with that. The first is ducks in a row. Understand that all the things that you're doing now to get things in order and prepare yourself is going to help immensely, okay? Will it be perfect? No, there are going to be some things that fall through the cracks. I feel like that missing cup is the thing that falls through the cracks. It may not be perfect, but you'll still be left with Eight of your cups standing. So getting things in order is going to be helpful for sure. The other message that comes through is I want to remind all of you who experience a loss, who experience somebody leaving you during this moon phase, this retrograde energy is in play. Know that this person or this relationship is not gone in a very hard and permanent way. Whenever I get the Eight of Cups, I always think of like a subway turnstile, you know, you can go around and come back around. A lot of times when things leave us in our lives, they leave us for a time period, or they might leave us in a certain form, and then they transition on to coming back around in our lives in a different form or in a different way. So if you're dealing with a lot of like fear and sadness about the idea of someone leaving you, focus on getting your ducks in an order. Know that that is really going to help, and know that when this leaving happens, it's not going to be as permanent and as hard and as like terminal is the word I hear, as you fear. Okay, so don't be afraid to let it go, because it can come back around to you in a different form when you do that. You know, I'm looking at the little butterflies here. You know that annoying, if they love you, let them go, and then they'll come back, and you know. But it's true. Sometimes sometimes we have that cycle thing going on, and sometimes you've got to let something go so that something better can come in. Sometimes you let something go, and the thing that's better that comes in is that same thing just comes back better. That could be the case. So try not to be so focused on what you're losing, and more focus on getting everything in order, getting yourself organized, cleaning, maintaining, structuring, and just getting things together, so that when that release happens, you have support. You have structured things as best you can, if that makes sense. Let me know if that resonates with any of you. Okay, and know that when I talk about things like relationships, for some of you that might be romantic, for some of you that might be family, for some of you that might be dear friends and co-workers and things like that, and for some of you it might be something more like deep and spiritual. It might be a relationship with yourself or with something in you need to love, have an attachment, etc. Okay, that's how we kind of take these collective messages. And then we have some details about like where we're going with this moon phase and stuff that I want to share with you guys, and things to keep in mind as we progress. Betty says this is so on point. I just found out the neighbor below me, creeper, is moving out. I can definitely let that go. Yes, that is nice. Do you have a creeper neighbor? Oof. I have a loud upstairs neighbor that's just really ratchet and totally has no respect, but he's not creepy. He's just annoying. But I'm glad they're leaving. Yes. You can definitely release that, but you don't want that coming back. So maybe also do some cleansing and some protection around your space before that happens. All right. Now, in terms of where we're going with this moon phase, what to keep in mind and like what we can do to work on it, or use this energy, we have the Six of Wands in the reverse for where we are going, and that is being impacted by the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So for a lot of us, this is a big transition. Now, we just had the fall equinox, or I guess it's happening, you know. We just entered into fall, so literally on the wheel of the year, we are all experiencing this big change in the season, and as the card says, we are going into the downtime of the year. We are going into the winter months, so it's time to prepare. It's time to get our ducks in a row, and think ahead to what we're going to need to get through the winter without whatever it is we are letting go of right now. Okay, it's really important for any of us who feel like we have a codependency on the thing that we are releasing, whether it's relationships with romantic partners or what have you. But if there's a codependency there, then it might be really scary to think about like, how am I supposed to survive this next season of life without this relationship, without this person, or without this scenario? What's it going to be like? What are the holidays going to be like? What's winter going to be like? We are entering into that stage of life, so it's important to give that to some consideration and try not to beat yourself up about it so much. Okay, the Six of Wands is usually a card of victory in the upright, where you feel like you are supported and you are celebrated in your decisions. In the reverse, not so much. So the choices that you are making, the decisions to walk away or to let go, may not be well received. Okay, they may not be well received. This kind of reminds me of a saying that I heard once that really stuck with me, which is that sometimes no matter what you do, you are going to be the villain in someone's story. You are going to be the bad guy. Even though, you don't mean any ill will to the person, even though you are making your decisions from a place of love and doing what's best and from a high vibe place, some people are just not going to be in the position to receive that and see where you're coming from and see why you're making the choices you make, and they are going to see what you're doing as an attack on them or a betrayal of them, and you're the bad guy. You're gonna be the bad guy. And yeah, Regina, Regina gave me some advice about stuff that I'm dealing with my family members. And she was like, you have to do what you, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to like sleep well on, and know in your heart that you are doing what's right. And if other people don't receive it, sometimes we just have to be at peace with that. So know that the decisions that you are making is potentially going to be lonely. You're going to feel kind of lonely moving into this next phase of your life. It is a very transition, jumping from one lily pad to the next. That's so crazy. I was talking to a therapist, and that was the analogy she used. She was like, this stage of your life and the autumn equinox, it's like jumping from one lily pad to the next and not knowing whether or not you are going to make it. And it's okay to wait for the next lily pad to move a little bit closer. And Spirit is saying that lily pad is close right now. So things are going to be jumping. Things are going to be departing. It might be you, it might be others, but the lily pads are coming close. Look what's on the next freaking card. Lily pads. Literally. We're jumping lily pads right now, okay? And this might be one that you jump by yourself, or it might be one where somebody jumps off your lily pad and now you're by yourself. But the energy is right for this shifting of positions, this jumping to new lily pads, this releasing of the old and moving to new. It's kind of like a game of musical chairs right now. The music is on. The music of the autumn season is on. And it's like the universe is saying, okay, everybody move. It's time to transition. It's time to get into place. Where do you want to be for the winter season? Where do you want to be for this next phase of the wheel of the year? And for a lot of you, where you want to be is going to feel perhaps a little lonely this phase, because the people around you are not necessarily going to understand why you want to be on the lily pad that you're on, and not necessarily want to be on it with you, or vice versa. You're not going to want to be on the lily pad that you're on anymore with others, and you're going to want to new waters, and others might not understand where you end up. So keep that in mind for this new moon phase, that feeling of transition and change that you feel so strongly. You are not alone. This is something that we're all feeling energetically. The wheel of the year is literally shifting. The energy is changing, and we have a really ripe opportunity right now to release and make a big change. And I think because people are feeling that, they're going to be doing that. The question is, are you going to do that? If you're feeling like you want to make a big change in your life, there's something big that you need to let go of or walk away from, and you're hesitating to do that, then you might be sitting there on the lily pad while everybody's like jumping around you. And you might sit this one out. That's up to you. You might not be ready. Okay? That's okay. Spirit understands that it is not easy. It is going to be disappointing in some ways, and it's going to take a lot of, not a lot of, but it's going to, you may not be in a place where you can get all your ducks in a row in order to take that leap. Okay, so for those of you who can, Spirit is saying now is the time to do it. Get your ducks in a row and release, let go, move forward. Knowing ahead of time that you may be doing this alone, and you may be doing it without a lot of support from others. But you have support from where it matters. You have support in the spiritual realms for what you're doing. Okay, and that's what matters. All right, and where we are going here, we have the Ace of Cups. It's beautiful over there. It's beautiful on that new lily pad. It really is. It really, really is. The Ace of Cups is a card of incredible fullness, but also It is literally an embodiment of this idea of the new moon, of releasing what you don't want. You'll notice how the overflowing comes out so that there's room for this blessing that's descending from spirit. So room has to be made for the blessings to come in. So the release, as painful as it may be, it has to happen. You are preventing blessings and you are preventing so much goodness from coming into your life by being afraid to go through the pain of the release. The moment that you let go, so much goodness is right there ready to just literally fall into your hands. Okay? Now is the time to jump. And I can't make you do anything. Spirit can't make you do anything. This reading is not going to make you do anything. But if this resonates with you and you realize that you have an opportunity right now in life to say, I'm cutting ties, I'm letting go, I'm releasing, I'm purging, and I'm making way for whatever Spirit has for me. I don't know what it is. I'm afraid. I'm unsure. I don't want to feel pain. I don't want to be on my own. I don't know if I'm ready to be alone in this. But I'm going to do it. If you can do that, you open yourself up for something really amazing. And this is immediate. It feels very immediate. Look how that wafer is like right there. It's like, oh, I want to be there. So this is like within the next moon phase. By the time we get to the next full moon, you will see the blessings and abundance that are waiting at the gate for you, flooding into your life. So it's not like you're going to have to struggle and suffer for a long time. You just have to be willing to make the leap. You're not going to have to suffer for a long time. This is very full, pregnant, I'm ready energy. The universe is ready to drop all of this into your lap. You've just got to make the space. You've just got to make the space. All of your worst case scenario fears of what's going to happen when this happens are totally not going to come to be. They're just that. They're just fears. They're not rooted in anything. It's really all good. You know, it's that tower moment. It's horrifying as the tower goes down, and then you get down to the ground, and it's like freedom and endless opportunity, and it's amazing. So this moon phase feels really, really ripe, you guys, but it also feels really super dependent on this release. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Whatever it is that you are holding on to, that you know you have been distancing yourself from, or it's been distancing itself from you, and it's been happening, now is the time for it to be totally done with. If you can get there. And I'm so curious to see how this plays out for all of you guys, and like, you know, whether or not we can do it, because no judgment here. If you can't do it, you can't, you know. You will get another opportunity. These cycles come back around. The wheel keeps going around and around. It's just hard to say when you'll get another chance and what it will be like that time. But right now, things are incredibly, incredibly ripe to support you in releasing things. And support you in the, like, you know, rebuild that happens right after. So I think that's like, it's kind of a sad message, but it's I take it as a very encouraging message, but that's just me. I like to take everything as an encouraging message. Let's see. Josie did a cord cutting recently. Yeah, so you can be alone on that lily pad. Yes, cord cutting definitely is the energy here. For sure. This is saying get your ducks in a row so that when you release. Oh, by the way, though, helpful tip for you, Josie, a little magic tip, and for anybody else, if you are looking to actually be alone, cord cuttings will not make another person leave a space. okay? A cord cutting will help to get rid of the emotional ties between you and the other person, which should make it easier for people to move on. But to actually move somebody up out of your space, you'll have to actually like then banish them. Ask me how I know that, but I know that now. So you want to do both. Yes. And you might want to throw a road opener in there. I've been talking a lot about like layering spells for your desired effect, and I find that's helpful. So to get someone in your space to actually leave your space, you might want to do a cord cutting to reduce your emotional attachments, make it easier for both parties to move on. You might want to do a road opening work for them so that their roads are open to all types of new opportunities, so that there's somewhere for them to go when you banish them. And then you might want to then banish them and send them on their way. So if you really want to be alone on a lily pad, just throwing that out there. But yes, that type of work is definitely the message that's coming through in this reading. Getting your ducks in order so that you're ready when the release happens. Releasing emotionally, letting know that needs to be done. Yeah, cutting those cords and calling in the newness, the new things, the new you, the new opportunities that you want to replace what you're releasing and what you're letting go of. Yes, banishing next. Don't sleep on the road opener step, though. Don't sleep on the road opener step. I found that is helpful. It is helpful to making things move quicker if the person that you are banishing has something to go to. So you can do a cord cutting to help them lose their interest in being near you, but you can also additionally open up their roads to make it easier for them to want to go. That makes the banishing work smoother. You have less resistance. You don't care where they go. I know you don't care where they go. You don't have to specify anywhere special or even anywhere nice. But just in terms of how magic can work, the idea is to get the energy moving in the direction that you want it as best you can. So that's why we try to pick certain days or certain planetary phases, certain herbs, certain oils. All of it is to try to get the energy going the way that you want. And if you're trying to banish someone who doesn't want to go anywhere because they're comfortable where they are, then it's harder. But if you give somebody something else that's better, it's a lot easier, right? If I'm trying to get rid of a roommate and don't have anywhere to go, and homelessness is the only option, as much as I might try to get rid of them, they're going to fight me because where are they going, right? But if a great apartment for the same amount of rent came to their attention, whether I brought it to their attention or someone else brought it to their attention, when I said, hey, you got to get out of here, and they know they have an option, then it's, okay, annoying. Didn't really want to have to move, but all right, I have an option at least, okay? So we do the road opener not because we're trying to be nice to the person, you know. We do the road opener to make it easier for ourselves to get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Open roads. You can, when you do a road opener for someone that you don't particularly care for, you just do an open road in all directions. Okay, so I draw a crossroads type of thing with the arrows in all four directions, and I call on elements of each direction. I call on the air, I call on the fire, I call on the water and the earth, I call on spirit, and I use items that are related to those elements, and I call in those elements and ask for the roads in all four directions to be open to this person. And I don't give a damn where they go, north, south, east, or west, but I'm opening all of their roads so that when I do this banishment work, they don't have walls stopping them. They have nothing but clear open roads, and they can go absolutely wherever they want. But it will, I'm telling you, just think about it, okay? You can do the banishing work. At the end of the day, your magic is your magic, and the effectiveness of it is going to be based on how you feel. And it feels like from your comments, the emotion is there. You have the right emotion for wanting to see somebody gone. So I'm not worried that you won't have the right energy behind it or anything. But I have just found that results happen a little bit faster if the roads for that person are open in all of the directions. That way, it doesn't have to be perfect. What makes where their exit. There's many options for how they could leave or why they could leave open to them. So something to think about. Little magic layering tip. Try not to think that when you open the roads. Lady Leo, I think it's actually okay. Where you're thinking, that's a good point, right? Try not to think about them going to hell when you open the roads. But I don't think that you have to have the most loving, wonderful feelings for somebody to do a road opening for them, because it's very literal, a road opening. It's less of a specific thing that I want in somebody's life, and more of just a spell on the energy. It's not even, a road opener is it's not even a spell for the person. It's a spell on the energy. I'm trying to make the energy around the person open in all directions, so that them moving in all directions is easy. Boom, that will make things happen faster for me, I think, is how I've seen that happen for me. Set them straight down. Wait, that comes right back to you. I think that's an interesting an interesting conversation to have about the whole what you put out comes back to you thing. And I think it's important to remember, Val and everybody, that not everyone subscribes to that idea. I think that for me, when it comes to magic, I like to think about the universal law. The laws that, and this kind of comes from Hermetic definitely comes from Hermetic principles, the ideas of the universal laws of things like polarity and laws of gender, and things like that. And so I think that there's something to be said about universal law. That's kind of where I go in terms of how magic works, why it works, and what I expect from the consequences and stuff like that. But I also know that that's really personal to me. And I think that magic, because we're talking about the manipulation of energy, it's not so that what one person does with energy will have the same result as what another person does with energy. Sometimes when you plug something into a socket, everything goes well. Sometimes when you plug something into a socket, you get electrocuted. Is it the case that every time you plug something in, you get electrocuted? No. Is it the case that every time you plug something in, electricity is flowing? Yes. Potentially, if there's the source is on, right? So I think of magic like that, of manipulating energy and knowing that energy doesn't necessarily always behave the exact same way in every single circumstance, And I do think that the witch that's wielding the energy has a huge say in how that energy flows once it's released from them. And so that's not to say that there are no consequences for our actions. There are always consequences for our actions, simply because for every action there is a reaction. But I don't necessarily know that it's the case that if you do something that causes harm to an individual, that immediately, or that means that the reaction will then be harm to you. I don't know that is necessarily the case. For me, I think of it more along the lines of, what is it that I am trying to put out into the world? What is it that I'm trying to do, and what is my purpose? And I see my purpose as being someone who is here to bring more light into the world, to do my part to drive out darkness. So what that means is I try to do magic that comes from a place of light, and that tries to accomplish something that is high vibrational and positive for whoever is involved. But I take my role as a light worker seriously. So while bringing light into the world, or driving light, directing light into places where there is darkness, is something that I want to do. I know that I can also bring in light by driving out darkness. And if I have to engage in some type of baneful magic in order to drive out darkness in the world, then I will do that. So case in point, someone coming to me for help with a violent stalker. The work that I might do might be harmful to the stalker. It might limit their ability to do certain things, or prevent them from doing the things that they want to do. It might impact their will and their free will. But it is my belief, and I go to Spirit and ask about this before I just make this decision, but what I am receiving, what I am understanding, is that by driving out this source of darkness, I am bringing in light. So that is kind of more of what I think about, rather than some arbitrary idea that, like, oh, what you do will then be done back to you. I think it's more a matter of battle of light and dark, and the understand that they ebb and flow like this and like that, and how energy impacts each of us in response to what we put out is not necessarily what would happen to the next person doing a similar motion. You know? I don't know if that makes any sense. It was a long kind of chat. It's kind of like a deep, like, topic. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, because the idea that you have, Val, that is maybe true for you is not necessarily something that is true for a lot of other witches. So we just want to, keep that in mind. Not every witch is coming from the same place. Only cause good trouble. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice way to kind of put it. Good trouble. I do like to cause good trouble. What do you recommend if I want to help someone get into law school and they keep getting financially blocked? They keep getting financially blocked, meaning can you elaborate? They got into the law school and they're not getting financial aid, or they didn't get into the school because of finances? I don't think they did because of your finances. Well, I guess technically, if you can't go, that's the same thing, right? Being denied for your finances. But can you elaborate what you mean by that? But yeah, road openers would be something to consider. That's probably the gentle way to do it. The less gentle way to do it would be to see if you could actually have direct influence over the person making the decision, if you know who that person is. So you might want to try to work that person if you know them, but I don't know, it might be a whole board of people making decisions and stuff like that. And then that's a little bit trickier. But if you know the direct person making the decision, then you can try to influence them to, being sweet on the person that has applied. they keep getting denied the extra financial aid. Okay, so they got into the school, so that's different. Then you don't need help with getting them into the school. Financial aid, that's different. But it can be approached in many the same way. If you are familiar with the person making the decision, maybe there's a financial aid director or person who decides that they get the extra financial aid. You could try to sweeten them to the idea. You can work them. I like skull candles for doing that type of work, where you want to influence someone's mind directly. And there's that. If you don't know the person, though, or it's a decision that's being made by multiple people, maybe you don't know who, then you might want to just try to open the roads to more financial abundance for that person so that they receive the money in any way. Them getting more financial aid is definitely nice, but there may be factors that you really can't control, but might have a lot harder time trying to control. A lot of financial aid is based on need. If you have a certain income, you have a certain income, and if you don't qualify for that need-based financial aid, then you don't qualify. A lot of financial aid is based on like your grades and your test scores. If you didn't get certain grades, then you didn't get certain grades, and so you're not going to necessarily have what it takes to energetically shift that. So you can want more financial aid, but it sounds like really you just need more money wherever it comes from. So I would do a road opening. I would do a road opening for that as well, specifically for opening the roads to financial, a check, a paycheck that would cover this, and it could come in any form. So a road opening is a nice way of calling in from any direction what you need without putting yourself into a hole or boxing yourself into only one specific thing. You can open it up. I like a simple apple road opening spell. I did the other day. You can take an apple and core it out, and on a petition paper, draw a crossroads shape, but draw an arrow on all four ends. Okay, so the roads are open in all four directions, and then in the center of that, I would put something that represents all four of the elements: earth, air, fire, water. And then a prayer related to calling in money. If you work with the Psalms, you could use a psalm. If you don't, you might write an incantation of your own, or find a prosperity prayer that you like, etc., etc. You might add to this some prosperity herbs like alfalfa, like bay, like calamus root. You might add some money oils that you might have. You might add some splashes of a cologne, like a road opener or a prosperity cologne. And then you would fold that up towards you, rotating it in a clockwise motion. You might seal it with a consecrated wax if you have it, or if you do that type of a thing, and then put that inside of the hole that you made in the middle of the apple. To that, I like to add some cinnamon sticks for speed. And then on either end of the hole, I take a bay leaf and I kind of cup the whole bay leaf and stick it in on either end so it seals up the ends of the apple. And then I take more of that consecrated sealing wax and I seal up the apple on either end. I cover up that bay leaf spot. And I just basically make this little container, this little apple container, okay? I drizzle that with honey because I want things to come in, be called in, be sweetened and stick to me. And then on top of the apple, I burn a candle, and prosperity oil and herbs as well. Burn that down, and then I leave that as an offering in the crossroads dedicated to a road opening spirit that I work with. So that's a little road opening work that you can do for more money. That's just kind of general, so that that person's opportunities are open to get the funding from whatever direction they need. So try that out. And if you guys ever have like small questions like that, that's a great thing to do and ask me anything for. In the link in my bio and Instagram and down in the descriptions video, you'll see what says ask me anything. You can submit a and ask me to draft a spell for you if you like to do soul work but don't know what, or maybe you have a magical question, maybe you have a spell but have questions about how to do it right, things like that. That's the perfect thing to use the Ask Me Anything feature for. So, all right. I'm ready for this new moon. I hope you guys are. I don't know if anybody will be joining me in fasting, but I will be fasting all Sunday, giving up some things, cleaning my apartment, getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and just making way for new beginnings. So I hope that you guys do the same, take advantage of this energy. You know, we learn more about what's happening astrologically, and we get these messages from Spirit so that we can be helped through our lives and know that we're not alone. So I'm glad you guys tuned into this. Make sure to check the poll at the top of the comments if you haven't already, at the top of the chat. Oh, let's see how that's doing. Can I get it from here? Now's your chance to vote in the poll. Bee pollen and cinquefold are good too. Yeah, cinquefold, 5-finger grass. It's great for prosperity. Bee pollen is wonderful as well. I like bee pollen as an offering to certain money spirits. Is that sun up to sundown? Oh, let's see. I do from sundown the day before to sundown the next day. So it's 24 hours. I guess it's sun up to sundown, but yeah, so I eat dinner the night before at like sunset, and then I don't eat again until the sun goes down the next time. Okay, I wanted to see if I can see the yes, okay. No, that's a different one. I want to see if I can see the poll. Let's see if it'll let me. Yay! Okay, yes, I can see the poll. Okay, 79% views. This is great. Woohoo! Yay! Okay, good. I just wanted to check that because I can't see it from here. All right, that's awesome. Yay! So I like this in the morning. I think this is really great. Oh, MSK, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for helping me get into the weekend focused and inspired, especially with Mercury in retrograde. Yes, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. That definitely helps to support me in getting up early for these. So I tend to pray to my ancestors instead of a specific deity. Will it still work? Of course. Of course. What do you mean? Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much. This is awesome. I think we'll do these live collective readings in the morning from now on. You guys said this is good, so we won't go earlier, we won't go later. We'll do 9 o'clock. That's perfect. I can hang out with you guys. It's now time for me to put on the coffee and turn up the music and get fully opened in here for the day. So if you're in the area, come and stop by. Come shop at HQ. Reserve a table to do tarot readings. Reserve the relax room for your Reiki sessions, your meditation classes, and all that good stuff. And just come hang out. And if you're in the city, definitely make sure to come to our tea and tarot party. We have a tea and tarot party here at HQ every solstice and every equinox. And our next one is celebrating the autumn equinox tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. $25 tickets online, $30 at the door. Food, drinks, music, free tarot readings, dope goodie bags, the whole 9. So I definitely hope that you guys can come. Check the description box for all the links, private readings from me, consultations, Reiki sessions, and all of the good stuff. And yeah, thanks for your feedback. Thanks for being here. Go out into the day, go out into this next moon phase, being great. Remember, if you are a Coven member, you can come back to this video anytime. And if you are not a Coven member, this video will not be available for replay. So you're going to want to turn on your notifications, click the bell, do all of that stuff so you know when we go live again for the next Tea and Tarot. It'll be the full moon. Yeah, so thank you guys so much. Yay! Enjoy the rest of the day. Make sure to have some tea, pull some cards. Bye. Blessed be. Thanks for being here.